Hello everyone, I hope you're well and a very warm welcome to this week's tutorial, Snow Dance. I'm Lisa Taggart and together we're going to create this lovely snow scene using some of the fantastic new release stamps but also some old favourites. First of all, we're going to have a look at the materials. To begin, we're using watercolour card, and we're also using again this week this fabulous set of Kuretake paints. We'll be using a blue, a purple, a violet, a lilac, white, black, and also a rose colour. Also, we've got three pastel pencils from the Van Gogh pencil set, if you've got those, but any pastel of choice would do. We've got russet, orange, violet chalk and henna in the Elements ink pads. Also for stamping, we've got Nocturne in the VersaFine Clair permanent ink. We've got our masking fluid and a brush from the fluid set. Also a pencil and a stencil for circles and a spray for water. We've got this 300 Lavinia Stamps paintbrush from the large set, diamond stickles, and finally we've got our black pencil, a black fine liner, white gel pen along with yellow and purple gel pens as well. Moving on then to the stamps for this week's project, we've got this absolutely delightful stamp called Christmas Joy, the beautiful Eve, the elm, a small tree, fern leaf and basil and baby, which is a little set. So if you want to convert all of those into something that looks a little like this, just keep on watching. We're going to be using these lovely watercolour paints. The first colour is called Orlean, which is an unusual name, and it's a nice yellow colour. And I'm just spreading the colours out in broad lines across the card. So we're starting off with this yellow tone and we're painting right across the sun, and it's strongest where it begins and then fades out towards the top. Next up we're using lilac, and we're just mixing that in with the yellow, and we're going to build that lilac colour up. And don't be like me and mix your paints in the palette. I'm very naughty, don't do that. So we're just going to continue on building that up until the colour becomes a little bit brighter. Now this set does come with a mixing tray, and I'm so impatient I rarely use it, so there is a tray if you would prefer to do that. I'm then taking this purple colour, which is next to the lilac, and drawing that across the top of the card and just deepening that up. Also then Rose Madden is next, and we're just going to put a line of that in at the bottom of the sun to give that sunset effect. And I'm washing my brush in between. Now this next mix I am using the tray for, and I'm taking a colour called Ultramarine Pale along with Imperial Violet, mixing that together, and then I'm adding a little bit of black to create this greyish pale lilac colour. And I'm just going to sweep that across, and that is the far hill on the horizon, which is a little bit darker, so it's like dark snow, a bank of dark snow. And now I'm watering my brush and removing most of the pigment, and I'm just sweeping it, what's left on my brush, across the bottom of the page. Now I want this to remain damp, this paint. I don't want to dry it off just yet, and I'm just adding another line of that Rose Madden colour because I felt it was a little bit lost there. So this is what you can do. If it's not dark enough, you can go back and add some more. I think I'll also go back to the lilac and sweep some of that onto the page to brighten up the top section. And when you're happy with it, it looks a little like that. Now, as I say, it's still damp, and I'm taking my russet orange and my henna in the elements, and I've got a bit of torn copy paper for masking off my foreground, and this lovely fern stamp I sometimes use as a tree. And what I'm doing is I'm first of all dipping it into henna and then onto russet orange, and I'm mixing the two colours on the stamp. And then when this water reactive ink is stamped on top of the damp paints, they bleed and feather into the background. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that feathered bleed effect, so that it looks as though the sun is shining through the foliage. Now, why dip the stamps into two colours? And the reason for that is that I was looking for a very particular colour, and the henna on its own was too dark and the russet orange was too bright, but mixing them together on the stamp gives the perfect combination. And there you can see I'm doing that now with the smaller tree stamp, and what I'm doing is creating a variety of shapes and heights. And when you're happy with that, move on to the foreground. And what I've got is this beautiful new stamp, which is really very pretty indeed. And I'm spraying off the foreground just to create that dampness that I require. And I'm going to take the stamp, and this time violet chalk in the elements, and I'm going to stamp this in place. First of all, I'm going to take the copy paper to mask off the bottom of the trunk because I want it nestled into the snow, and I also want the bottom of it to bleed and give that nice watercolour effect. And the good thing about a stamp that has this shape is that you can create perspective by gradually stamping it at different places along the top. And as you can see there, that gives the impression of trees going off into the distance. I'm drying that off, and I'm taking the shadow colour that I created before. I've put some there against the bank to darken it up, and now I'm using it to create some dark shadowed areas underneath the little trees. So this is an important little mix of colour to have, because I'll be using it 2 or 3 times in the picture, so make sure you've mixed up enough. And all I'm doing is blending that in underneath the trees just to create that shadowy effect. I've also overstamped the bottom of the first tree, which I'll show you close up in a minute or two, adding in again some rose madder to brighten up the sun, and also then rubbing that off with a baby wipe. And now I'm removing the masking fluid altogether to reveal the sun. Going back to my yellow, and with a damp brush, and it really is only a damp brush, I'm picking that yellow colour and mixing a little of it in around the edge there to create the sun. And now the second tree, I'm reintroducing the definition of the stamp again, and it's nice to have the combination of the blurred tree and then the fine detail on top. Next, I'm going back to the shadow colour that we've previously mixed, and I'm going just to take this and do freehand shadows underneath. And I'm really making this up. If you're not confident doing shadows, you could use your pastel pencil instead of the paint, but I'm too impatient and I usually try to wing it and hope for the best. Now, off camera I started adding some snow to the trees, and this is the colour Ultramarine Pale, again the pale blue along with some white. And I'm really just taking the edge of the same brush and lightly dabbing it in the direction of some of the branches, and I'm confining this to the bottom of the trees, so it's really where it's snowed in the past, and this is perhaps melting snow. So that's the project complete. I hope you enjoyed this week's tutorial and you'll have a go yourselves. I always look forward to seeing what you create, and there are some fabulous versions. So until next time, take very good care of yourselves, and of course get creating, be brave and enjoy the adventure.